close your eyes and let the gentle sounds of the past wash over you. Imagine, if you will, the hushed murmur of a medieval village at twilight, the faint scent of wood smoke mingling with the damp earth. Or perhaps, the echoing splash of water in a grand Roman bathhouse, the warm steam clinging to the ancient stones. Tonight, we embark on a journey through time, a fascinating exploration of hygiene practices from eras long past, practices that might surprise, intrigue, and perhaps even make you slightly shudder. We'll travel back to ages where cleanliness, as we understand it today, was a vastly different concept. We'll delve into customs that might seem strange, even shocking by modern standards, but which were nonetheless integral parts of daily life for people living centuries ago. We'll discover a world where the very notion of hygiene was shaped by available resources, cultural beliefs, and the ever-present challenges of disease and survival. Prepare to be transported to ancient civilizations where the use of urine was not just tolerated, but considered a valuable cleaning agent. Imagine the bustling streets of Rome, the scent of fragrant herbs attempting to mask other, less pleasant aromas. We'll peer into the lives of medieval Europeans, who, despite the romanticized imagery often associated with their era, often endured remarkably unhygienic conditions. We'll witness the sharing of bathwater, a practice born not of luxury, but of necessity. Our journey will take us across continents and centuries, revealing the diverse and often unexpected ways in which people throughout history approached personal cleanliness. We'll discover the ingenious, if sometimes unsettling, methods employed to cleanse the body and environment. We'll uncover the reasons behind these practices, understanding the cultural context that shaped them. We'll explore the use of rudimentary tools for personal hygiene, tools far removed from the advanced technology we enjoy today. We'll encounter the absence of readily available soap and water, and the creative solutions that emerge to compensate for these limitations. We'll learn about the surprisingly common practice of wiping with materials far removed from our modern toilet paper, materials that might make you raise an eyebrow. We'll encounter fascinating details, the intricate rituals surrounding bathing in certain cultures, the medicinal beliefs that influenced hygiene practices, and the stark realities of disease in societies without access to modern sanitation. We'll uncover the deeply ingrained cultural norms that shaped attitudes toward cleanliness and the body. We'll see how notions of hygiene often intersected with social class and status. This is not a journey intended to shock or disgust, but rather to illuminate. It's a journey of understanding, of empathy for those who lived in vastly different circumstances, and of appreciating the remarkable progress made in hygiene practices over the centuries. It's a story told with a gentle voice, a comforting rhythm, designed to lull you into a peaceful slumber as you explore the fascinating history of hygiene. So, settle in, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to be transported to another time, another world, a world of surprising and sometimes unsettling hygiene habits. Let the whispers of the past guide you into a tranquil sleep. Each tale, each practice, a fascinating glimpse into a world so different from our own, yet so connected to our present understanding of health and well-being. Prepare to be amazed, perhaps even a little amused, as we unravel the surprisingly complex history of hygiene. Let the journey begin. Now, let us transport ourselves to the heart of ancient Rome, to a place of social gathering, relaxation, and surprisingly, a form of public hygiene, the Roman bathhouse. Imagine stepping through the imposing entrance, the warm air washing over you, carrying the faint, sweet scent of olive oil and herbs. The sounds of laughter and conversation, the rhythmic splash of water, create a vibrant, yet soothing ambience. This is not merely a place for cleansing. It is a social hub, a center of community life. The Roman bathhouse was a complex structure, a multi-chambered marvel of engineering and design. First, you would enter the apoditerium, a changing room where you would leave your clothes and sandals, the cool stone beneath your feet a welcome contrast to the heat that awaited. From there, you would progress to the frigidarium, a cold plunge pool, its icy water a shock to the system, invigorating the body and preparing it for the heat ahead. Next, you'd move to the tepidarium, a warm room designed for gradual acclimatization. Here, the air would be thick with steam, the temperature gently rising, easing your muscles and preparing you for the main event, the caldarium, the hot room. Picture this, the caldarium, a vast, domed chamber, shimmering with the heat rising from the heated floors and walls. The air is thick with steam. The scent of oils and herbs hangs heavy in the air, a fragrant cloud enveloping you in a comforting warmth. The water of the central pool is a soothing, almost ethereal temperature, not scalding but intensely hot, designed to melt away tension and fatigue. The Romans were masters of creating a truly immersive bathing experience. The walls were often adorned with intricate mosaics, adding to the visual splendor. The sounds of the water, the murmurs of conversation, the clinking of pottery, all contributed to the overall sensory experience. This was not merely a functional space. It was a place of beauty and tranquility. But what about hygiene? While the Roman bathhouses offered a social and relaxing experience, their hygiene standards, by modern measures, were far from perfect. The water in the pools was not frequently changed. The communal nature of the baths meant that many individuals shared the same water, potentially leading to the spread of diseases. Yet, the Romans did have some practices that promoted a degree of cleanliness. The use of strigils, metal scrapers, to remove sweat and dirt from the skin was common. Following the bath, the application of fragrant oils and unguents not only softened the skin, but also served as a form of perfume, masking any lingering odors. The Romans' use of olive oil played a significant role in their hygiene practices. It was used not only as a moisturizer and cleanser, but also as a form of sunscreen, protecting the skin from the harsh Mediterranean sun. The use of aromatic herbs and spices in their oils added a further layer of sensory pleasure and, it was believed, therapeutic benefits. The social aspect of the Roman bathhouses is an important element to consider. They were not merely places for personal hygiene. They were spaces for social interaction, business dealings, and political discourse. Men and women often bathed separately, and the baths served as a vital center for social life within the community. While the Roman bathhouses were not perfect, they represented a significant step in the development of public hygiene and sanitation. They were a testament to Roman ingenuity and their understanding of the importance of both physical and social well-being. The sensory experience, the warmth of the water, the scent of oils, the sounds of chatter, created a unique and memorable atmosphere. Although their standards might appear less than ideal by modern standards, the Roman bathhouse stands as a fascinating example of how hygiene practices were woven into the fabric of daily life in a bygone era. As we journey further into our exploration of historical hygiene, we will encounter many more practices that differ vastly from our own. Let the calming warmth of the Roman baths linger in your thoughts as we continue our exploration. Now, let us travel back in time, leaving the echoing grandeur of the Roman baths behind, to step into the bustling, yet often squalid, streets of medieval Europe. Imagine the scene: narrow, unpaved lanes, choked with refuse and the stench of overflowing cesspools. The air hangs heavy, thick with the smells of rotting food, animal waste, and the ever-present aroma of disease. This is a far cry from the regulated environment of the Roman bathhouses. The contrast between the hygiene practices of the wealthy elite and the common people is stark. While the wealthy could afford relative cleanliness, employing servants to tend to their needs, indulging in occasional bathing, and perhaps even using rudimentary perfumes, the vast majority of the population lived in conditions of extreme unsanitation. Houses were often cramped, lacking proper ventilation or drainage. Waste disposal was rudimentary at best, with human waste often thrown directly into the streets or into nearby water sources. Picture the overflowing cesspools, their contents seeping into the ground, contaminating the water supply. Imagine the narrow streets, slick with mud and refuse, where animals roamed freely, adding to the already overwhelming stench. This was the everyday reality for many in medieval Europe. The lack of proper sanitation systems and the dense population of medieval towns and cities created an environment ripe for the spread of disease. The consequences of this unsanitary environment were devastating. Epidemics of typhoid, cholera, dysentery, and the plague were frequent occurrences. These diseases ravaged entire communities, decimating populations and leaving a trail of suffering and death in their wake. The lack of understanding of germ theory meant that the causes of these diseases were largely unknown. People attributed outbreaks to supernatural forces, divine punishment, or imbalances in the humors, ancient theories about the body's internal fluids. The limited understanding of hygiene and disease led to practices that, while intended to promote cleanliness, often exacerbated the problem. For instance, bathing was a rare occurrence for most people, often only once or twice a year, despite the common belief that infrequent bathing was a health risk. The belief that the human body was inherently dirty, that cleanliness was somehow unnatural or even unhealthy, further contributed to the lack of personal hygiene. While the wealthy might have indulged in the occasional bath, using scented oils and waters to mask body odor, the common people often relied on other methods to deal with dirt and grime. Clothing was frequently worn for extended periods, rarely washed, and often layered to provide warmth and protection from the elements. The use of perfumes and strong-smelling herbs served primarily as a means of masking body odor rather than actually improving hygiene. The contrast between the lifestyles of the wealthy and the impoverished created a social hierarchy that extended to hygiene practices. The wealthy had the resources to maintain a semblance of cleanliness in their immediate surroundings, employing servants to clean and maintain their homes and disposing of waste more effectively. However, their privileged position did little to alleviate the unsanitary conditions that prevailed in the wider community. The medieval period serves as a stark reminder of the importance of proper sanitation and hygiene. The unsanitary conditions and the resulting spread of disease underscore the significant impact that environmental factors can have on public health. The contrast between the relative cleanliness enjoyed by the wealthy and the squalid conditions endured by the masses highlights the social inequalities of the era. The legacy of the medieval period sanitation challenges serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the critical role of public health infrastructure in preventing disease and promoting well-being. As we move forward in our journey through time, we will encounter other fascinating and sometimes disturbing examples of historical hygiene practices. Now, let's delve into a practice that might initially seem rather unpleasant, yet which held a significant place in the history of cleaning: the use of urine as a cleaning agent. Before the advent of modern detergents and bleaches, urine, surprisingly, served a valuable purpose, its properties making it a surprisingly effective cleaning and bleaching solution across many cultures and time periods. The effectiveness of urine stems from its chemical composition. Fresh urine contains urea, a compound that breaks down into ammonia. Ammonia, in turn, is a powerful cleaning agent with antiseptic qualities. This means that urine, while certainly not pleasant-smelling, possesses a natural ability to remove stains, disinfect surfaces, and even bleach fabrics. This wasn't simply a matter of desperate necessity. It was a widely accepted and often preferred method of cleaning. Imagine a bustling medieval city, the air thick with the smells of everyday life, including, perhaps surprisingly, the faint, almost imperceptible scent of ammonia from the many uses of urine. This wasn't a secret practice confined to the shadows. It was a common, practical, and even somewhat socially acceptable method of cleaning. The use of urine wasn't limited to a single culture or time period either. It was prevalent in various parts of the world and throughout different historical eras. In ancient Rome, for example, urine was highly valued for its cleaning properties. Public urinals were common, and the collected urine was often sold to fullers, individuals who cleaned and prepared wool cloth. The ammonia in the urine helped to remove dirt and grease from the wool, making it cleaner and brighter. This wasn't just a matter of practicality. The use of urine in fulling was a well-established and important part of the textile industry. The process was quite involved. The fullers would soak the wool in urine, often for extended periods, allowing the ammonia to break down stubborn stains and dirt. After the soaking, the wool would be rinsed and then often beaten or trampled to further loosen any remaining soil. The result was cleaner, brighter, and more resilient wool cloth, a testament to the unexpected cleaning power of urine. The use of urine wasn't limited to wool, however. It was also employed in cleaning other fabrics and even in the cleaning of household items. The ammonia in urine was known to disinfect and deodorize, making it a surprisingly effective cleaning solution for a time when other options were limited. It's important to remember that the concept of hygiene itself differed greatly from our modern perspectives. What we might find revolting today was a practical necessity in the past. While the practice might seem unusual to us now, we must consider the context in which it occurred. In the absence of modern sanitation systems and cleaning products, urine provided a readily available and surprisingly effective cleaning agent. Its use reflects the ingenuity of people in adapting to their environment and finding solutions with the resources at hand. The widespread acceptance of urine as a cleaning agent speaks to the limited understanding of microbiology and hygiene in previous eras. The connection between disease and unsanitary conditions wasn't fully understood. In the absence of other effective cleaning solutions, urine served a practical purpose, even if it might seem distasteful by modern standards. The story of urine as a cleaning agent is a fascinating glimpse into the history of hygiene practices, highlighting the ingenuity and resourcefulness of people in the past. It reminds us that what we consider clean and acceptable is often shaped by the available technologies and the understanding of the world around us. The practice serves as a reminder of how our understanding of hygiene has evolved significantly over time, and how our modern standards are built upon centuries of experimentation and discovery. The use of urine as a cleaning agent reflects a time when resourcefulness and practicality often took precedence over what we might today consider aesthetic preferences or modern hygiene standards. It's a testament to human adaptability and innovation, and a reminder of the profound differences between our understanding of cleanliness and that of past generations. As we continue this exploration of historical hygiene, we will discover further examples of the fascinating evolution of our understanding of cleanliness and sanitation. The journey, while occasionally surprising, provides a rich understanding of our past and a deeper appreciation for our current practices. Now, let's turn our attention to a practice that, while perhaps unsettling from a modern perspective, offers a stark illustration of hygiene standards in various historical periods: the use of communal toilet sponges. Imagine, if you will, a time before the widespread adoption of individual toilet paper, a time when the act of personal cleansing after using the privy was a shared experience, rather than a private one. In many cultures throughout history, the common method of cleaning oneself after using a latrine wasn't a roll of soft paper, but rather a shared sponge, often affixed to the end of a long stick. These communal sponges, sometimes referred to as bum sticks or similar terms, were dipped into a container of water and then used by multiple individuals. The water itself, naturally, became increasingly contaminated with each use, creating a breeding ground for bacteria and disease. Picture this scene: a bustling medieval tavern, perhaps, or a crowded Roman public latrine. A simple container of water sits nearby, its surface murky, reflecting the dimly lit space. A long stick with a sponge or a similarly absorbent material attached to its end hangs conveniently close. Each patron, in turn, uses this communal cleaning implement, dipping it into the shared water, and then, well, you can probably imagine the rest. The very thought might bring a shudder, but this was a reality for many people throughout history. The lack of personal hygiene in this practice is self-evident. The repeated use of the same sponge by multiple individuals, without any form of sterilization or cleaning between uses, created an ideal environment for the transmission of diseases. Bacteria and parasites could easily spread from one person to the next, leading to widespread infections and illness. It's a stark reminder of how easily diseases could propagate before the understanding of germ theory and the widespread adoption of sanitary practices. This wasn't merely a practice confined to the lower classes or the less affluent. Even in relatively well-to-do households, the concept of individual hygiene often differed significantly from our modern understanding. The shared sponge was a common feature in many public and private settings, indicating a societal acceptance of a level of sanitation that would be unthinkable today. Consider the implications of this practice for the spread of infectious diseases. Conditions like dysentery, cholera, and typhoid fever could easily spread through the shared use of such a sponge. These diseases, often fatal, were a constant threat in many historical periods, and the use of communal toilet sponges undoubtedly contributed to their prevalence. The lack of understanding of the role of microorganisms in disease transmission further exacerbated the problem. The connection between unsanitary conditions and the spread of illness wasn't fully understood until relatively recent times. Without this knowledge, the dangers of shared toilet sponges were largely unrecognized, and the practice continued for centuries. The communal sponge also highlights the contrast between past and present hygiene practices. Our modern emphasis on personal hygiene and individual sanitation is a relatively recent development, built upon centuries of scientific discovery and technological advancement. The image of the communal toilet sponge serves as a powerful reminder of how far we've come in our understanding of hygiene and disease prevention. The story of the communal toilet sponge is a poignant reminder of the importance of sanitation and the devastating consequences of neglecting basic hygiene practices. It's a sobering reflection on the stark realities of life in many historical periods, where disease was a constant threat and the simple act of cleansing oneself after using the privy could carry a significant risk. As we continue our journey through the history of hygiene, we'll encounter further examples of practices that might seem strange or even repulsive by today's standards. However, by understanding the context in which these practices occurred, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the progress we've made in improving public health and sanitation. Each practice, no matter how unsettling, reveals a crucial piece of the puzzle in understanding the evolution of our current hygienic standards. The shared sponge, therefore, stands as a potent symbol of the significant advancements in our understanding of hygiene and the ongoing quest for better sanitation for all. The contrast between then and now is striking and serves as a potent reminder of the importance of our modern hygiene standards. Let us now transport ourselves to the vibrant, yet often unsanitary, streets of Elizabethan England. The year is 1590. A bustling marketplace fills the air with the aroma of roasting meats and the cries of street vendors, a cacophony of sounds that contrasts sharply with the often overlooked realities of daily life. One such reality was the pervasive presence of lice. Imagine stepping into a typical Elizabethan household. The air, thick with the scent of wood smoke and unwashed bodies, might also carry a subtle, unsettling itch. This itch, often unnoticed by the inhabitants themselves, was the constant companion of many, a testament to the prevalence of lice infestations. These weren't isolated incidents. They were a near-universal experience. The close-quartered living conditions of the time, coupled with a lack of effective methods for personal hygiene and pest control, created a perfect breeding ground for these tiny parasites. Families often shared beds, sometimes multiple individuals huddled together for warmth in drafty, poorly insulated homes. These shared sleeping arrangements, while offering a sense of community and mutual support, significantly increased the risk of louse transmission. Picture a family gathered around a crackling fire, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. The children, their hair tangled and matted, might unconsciously scratch at their heads, oblivious to the tiny creatures crawling beneath the surface. The adults, equally affected, would likely be accustomed to the constant itching, a familiar discomfort woven into the fabric of daily life. The Elizabethan era lacked the understanding of hygiene and disease transmission that we possess today. The concept of germs and their role in illness was still largely unknown. Consequently, the methods employed to combat lice were rudimentary and often ineffective. Crude combs might have been used to try and remove the parasites, but the sheer number of lice often made this a futile effort. The use of herbs and other natural remedies was common, but their effectiveness was limited at best. The social acceptance of lice was, in a way, a reflection of the limited options available to combat them. It wasn't a sign of personal neglect or lack of cleanliness. It was simply a fact of life. The widespread presence of lice transcended social classes, affecting rich and poor alike. While the wealthy might have had slightly better access to resources, the fundamental challenges of hygiene and pest control remained largely the same. Imagine the sensory experience of living in such a time. The constant itching, the feeling of tiny creatures crawling beneath your clothing, the sight of lice clinging to hair and clothing. These were not exceptional occurrences, but rather the everyday reality for many. The visual imagery is not intended to be repulsive, but rather to provide a vivid picture of the life experiences of people in Elizabethan England. The prevalence of lice extended beyond the home, permeating public spaces as well. Crowded marketplaces, bustling taverns, and even churches would have been rife with the parasites. The constant physical contact between individuals further facilitated the spread of infestations. This shared experience, while undeniably unpleasant, also fostered a sense of communal resilience. The struggle against lice in Elizabethan England underscores the significant advancements in public health and hygiene that have occurred since then. The development of effective insecticides, improved sanitation practices, and a deeper understanding of disease transmission have dramatically reduced the prevalence of lice and other parasites in modern society. This historical context offers a unique perspective on the importance of modern hygiene practices. The sheer prevalence of lice in Elizabethan England serves as a powerful reminder of the significance of personal cleanliness and effective pest control. The sensory details, the smells, the sights, the constant itching, help to bring this historical reality to life, emphasizing the stark contrast between the past and the present. The story of lice in Elizabethan England is not just about the parasites themselves. It's a story about the living conditions, the societal norms, and the limited understanding of hygiene in that era. It's a reminder of how far we've come in our understanding of sanitation and disease prevention, a journey that has significantly improved the quality of life for billions of people. The next time you reach for your shampoo or comb, take a moment to appreciate the advancements that have made such seemingly simple acts so effective in protecting us from the pervasive challenges of the past. Our modern approach to personal hygiene is a testament to centuries of progress, a testament to our collective efforts to ensure a healthier and more comfortable existence. Now, let's transport ourselves to the opulent courts and bustling streets of 18th century France, a period of exquisite fashion, artistic brilliance, and, surprisingly, a rather unique approach to hygiene. Imagine the swirling silks and powdered wigs of the aristocracy, the scent of freshly baked pastries mingling with something else. That something else was often a potent and pervasive perfume, a fragrant shield against the realities of a less-than-clean existence. In this era of elaborate gowns and powdered wigs, bathing was not the daily ritual we know today. Infrequent bathing, sometimes only once or twice a year, was the norm for many, even among the wealthy. This wasn't simply due to a lack of access to water. It was a complex interplay of cultural beliefs, social norms, and practical considerations. The prevailing medical understanding of the time often associated bathing with illness, believing it could open the pores and lead to disease. This fear, combined with the inconvenience and effort required to heat water and prepare for a bath, meant that many chose to forego the experience entirely. This is not to say that personal cleanliness was entirely neglected. Rather, it was approached differently. The solution, or perhaps a temporary avoidance of the problem, was perfume. Strong, heavily scented perfumes became a ubiquitous element of daily life, masking body odors and creating an aura of artificial cleanliness. These weren't the delicate, subtle fragrances we associate with modern perfumes. These were potent concoctions designed to overpower any underlying sense. Imagine a cloud of heavy, almost cloying fragrance, a fragrant fog that clung to the clothes and bodies of the people. The use of perfume was not limited to the aristocracy. It permeated all levels of society, although the types and intensity of fragrances could vary depending on social status. The creation and use of perfumes became a significant industry, with perfumers crafting intricate blends of exotic ingredients. These blends often incorporated ingredients such as spices, herbs, and floral extracts, creating a complex tapestry of scents that filled the air. Picture a grand ballroom, filled with elegantly dressed individuals, their clothes and bodies draped in a thick veil of perfume. The air is thick with the combined scents of rose, lavender, amber, and musk, a fragrant fog that obscures the realities of infrequent bathing. The conversations hum, the music swells, and the pervasive scent of perfume hangs heavy in the air, a potent symbol of the era's approach to hygiene. The impact of this perfume-centric approach to hygiene on public health was significant. While perfume could temporarily mask unpleasant odors, it did little to address the underlying issues of sanitation and disease transmission. The lack of frequent bathing, combined with the dense population centers of the cities, created ideal conditions for the spread of infectious diseases. Imagine the narrow, crowded streets of Paris, the overflowing cesspools, the lack of proper sanitation, all masked, at least temporarily, by a sea of perfume. This fragrant veil, while aesthetically pleasing to the senses, offered little protection against the very real dangers of disease. The contrast between the opulent elegance of the era and the unsanitary realities it masked is striking. The story of 18th century French perfume and hygiene reveals a fascinating interplay between cultural beliefs, social practices, and public health. The use of perfume as a substitute for bathing highlights the limitations of the era's understanding of hygiene and the significant impact of societal norms on health outcomes. The potent fragrances of the time, though seemingly luxurious, served as a temporary veil, concealing the unsanitary realities of a less-than-clean existence. The story serves as a reminder of the importance of comprehensive hygiene practices in maintaining public health, a lesson that resonates across centuries. The contrast between the sophisticated elegance of 18th century France and the unsanitary practices that lay beneath the surface of its perfume-laden world underscores the importance of our modern understanding of hygiene. The heavy, cloying scents, once a symbol of sophistication, now serve as a stark reminder of the long and often surprising journey towards the hygiene practices we take for granted today. The evolution of our understanding of cleanliness is a testament to human progress, a journey marked by both remarkable advancements and intriguing historical oddities. The legacy of 18th century French perfume reminds us that even the most fragrant of illusions cannot fully mask the underlying realities of health and well-being. Now, let's journey back in time to the banks of the Nile, to the land of pharaohs and pyramids, to explore the surprisingly sophisticated hygiene practices of ancient Egypt. Imagine the sun warming your skin as you step into a world where cleanliness wasn't merely a matter of convenience, but a deeply ingrained aspect of daily life and religious belief. Unlike many other ancient cultures, the ancient Egyptians placed a high value on personal cleanliness. This wasn't simply a matter of aesthetics. It was interwoven with their religious beliefs and their understanding of the world. Cleanliness was seen as a way to honor the gods and maintain a harmonious relationship with the divine. Central to their hygiene rituals was the use of natron, a naturally occurring mineral salt composed of sodium carbonate and bicarbonate. Imagine the pale, crystalline powder mined from the dry lake beds of the Egyptian desert. This wasn't just any salt. It was a multi-purpose wonder, used for everything from mummification to cleaning the body. For the ancient Egyptians, natron was the cornerstone of their personal cleansing routines. They used it to purify their bodies, both physically and spiritually. Picture the scene: a person carefully dissolving natron in water, creating a cleansing solution. They would then use this solution to wash their bodies, scrubbing away dirt and grime, leaving their skin feeling clean and refreshed. Beyond its cleansing properties, natron was also believed to possess purifying qualities, capable of cleansing not just the body, but also the soul. This belief stemmed from the Egyptians' deep connection to the Nile River, which played a crucial role in their lives and was seen as a source of both life and purification. Natron, with its origins in the dry desert landscapes, was viewed as a powerful agent of purification, able to cleanse individuals of both physical and spiritual impurities. The Egyptians' meticulous approach to hygiene extended beyond their daily routines. It played a significant role in their religious practices. Before participating in religious ceremonies, priests and worshippers would undergo elaborate purification rituals, ensuring that they were ritually clean before approaching the gods. These rituals often involved washing with natron solutions and other purifying agents, symbolizing their commitment to spiritual purity. Imagine the scene: a temple courtyard bathed in the warm Egyptian sun. Priests and worshippers are meticulously preparing for a religious ceremony. They wash their hands and bodies with natron solutions, carefully rinsing away any trace of dirt or imperfection. Their movements are slow and deliberate, reflecting a deep reverence for the act of purification. The Egyptians' attention to detail in their hygiene practices is truly remarkable. They developed sophisticated tools for personal grooming, including razors made of copper or flint and coal, a dark eye makeup that may have had some antiseptic properties, protecting their eyes from the harsh desert sun and potential infections. They also paid close attention to dental hygiene, developing tools for cleaning their teeth and keeping their mouths healthy. This focus on personal cleanliness was not limited to the elite. It extended to all levels of society. The use of natron and other cleansing agents was commonplace, ensuring that people of all social classes had access to basic hygiene practices. This widespread emphasis on cleanliness stands in stark contrast to many other ancient cultures, where hygiene standards were often far less stringent. The ancient Egyptians' focus on hygiene was not just a matter of practicality. It was intrinsically linked to their spiritual beliefs. Cleanliness was seen as a way to honor the gods, maintain a harmonious relationship with the divine, and ensure a smooth passage into the afterlife. Their meticulous rituals, their use of natron, and their attention to detail speak volumes about their reverence for cleanliness and their deep understanding of its importance. Their advanced understanding of hygiene, far exceeding that of many contemporary civilizations, is a testament to their ingenuity and their profound connection to the natural world. The ancient Egyptians' legacy extends far beyond the pyramids and the pharaohs. It encompasses a sophisticated approach to hygiene that offers valuable insights into the evolution of human cleanliness practices. Their meticulous rituals and the use of natron, a naturally occurring mineral salt, reveal a culture that deeply valued cleanliness, both physically and spiritually. The story of their hygiene practices serves as a reminder of the enduring importance of cleanliness in maintaining health and honoring spiritual beliefs. Their legacy continues to inspire us to reflect on our own approaches to hygiene and the significance of cleanliness in our lives. Now, let's transport ourselves to a time when the very act of bathing was viewed with suspicion, a time when the life-giving element of water was paradoxically associated with illness and disease. This is a fascinating paradox, a divergence from our modern understanding of hygiene that highlights the evolution of our knowledge and practices. For centuries, the belief that water itself caused illness held sway over many cultures, profoundly impacting bathing habits and contributing to a culture of infrequent cleansing. This wasn't simply a matter of personal preference. It was a deeply ingrained belief rooted in a combination of cultural practices, medical understanding, and the limitations of the time. Imagine a world where the sparkling clarity of a stream or the inviting warmth of a bath were not seen as sources of refreshment, but rather as potential harbingers of sickness. The reasons behind this misconception are complex and multifaceted. One significant factor was the lack of understanding about the role of microorganisms in the transmission of diseases. In the absence of germ theory, people struggled to comprehend how invisible entities could cause illness. Water, often contaminated with unseen pathogens, was naturally implicated as a source of various ailments. Epidemics of waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid were frequent and devastating, reinforcing the belief that water itself was the culprit. Imagine the scenes: villages ravaged by disease, families mourning lost loved ones, and the growing fear surrounding the once essential element of water. This fear wasn't confined to the uneducated. It permeated all levels of society. Even learned physicians of the time often subscribed to the theory that water was inherently harmful, contributing to the widespread acceptance of this misconception. Their medical texts often warned against the dangers of bathing, reinforcing the cultural norms that discouraged frequent cleansing. The prevailing medical theories often emphasize the importance of maintaining a balance within the body, a concept known as humoral theory. This theory posited that the body contained four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile, and that an imbalance in these humors could lead to illness. Water, it was believed, could upset this delicate balance, potentially leading to various health problems. Furthermore, the lack of adequate sanitation and water treatment technologies only served to reinforce the belief that water was a source of disease. Imagine the conditions: open sewers overflowing into water sources, contaminated wells providing the community's drinking water, and the overall lack of understanding about the importance of water purification. This widespread belief in the harmful nature of water led to a significant reduction in bathing frequency across many cultures. In some societies, bathing became a rare event, perhaps only occurring once a year or even less often. The concept of daily showers or baths, a cornerstone of modern hygiene, was simply inconceivable in many historical periods. The impact of this belief extended beyond personal hygiene. It also affected public health practices. The lack of emphasis on cleanliness contributed to the spread of infectious diseases, creating a vicious cycle of fear and illness. The understanding that water was a vector for disease was crucial in the development of modern sanitation practices and water treatment technologies. The transition from a fear-based approach to water to our modern understanding of its essential role in hygiene represents a significant shift in human knowledge. The development of germ theory, improved sanitation practices, and effective water treatment technologies have revolutionized our approach to hygiene and significantly improved public health. The belief that water caused illness, though incorrect, serves as a valuable reminder of the ever-evolving nature of scientific understanding and the importance of continuous learning and adaptation. It underscores the power of misinformation and the long, arduous journey towards achieving safe and healthy living standards. The shift from fear of water to its modern embrace demonstrates a remarkable transformation in our relationship with this essential element. It highlights the crucial role of scientific advancements in shaping our understanding of health and hygiene, paving the way for a healthier and safer future. Now, let's journey back in time to the medieval period, a time of knights, castles, and surprisingly infrequent bathing. The image of a perpetually grime-covered populace might spring to mind, but the reality was more nuanced, a tapestry woven with threads of social class, religious belief, and the prevailing medical understanding of the time. For the majority of medieval Europeans, bathing was not a daily ritual, nor even a weekly one. Instead, for many, a full bath might occur only once or twice a year, a stark contrast to our modern hygiene standards. This wasn't simply a matter of laziness. It was a complex interplay of factors, including the prevailing beliefs about the nature of illness and the practical challenges of obtaining and heating water. The notion of water as a potential source of disease, as discussed previously, played a significant role. The lack of understanding of germ theory, coupled with the often unsanitary conditions of water sources, reinforced the belief that frequent bathing was more harmful than beneficial. Therefore, the infrequent bathing wasn't a choice, but a consequence of deeply entrenched beliefs regarding health and disease. For the peasantry, bathing was often a communal affair, taking place in a nearby stream or river. Imagine the scene: a group of villagers gathering near a slow-moving river, the water murky, yet the only accessible resource for cleansing. The process would have been far from luxurious. The water cold, the soap limited to whatever natural ingredients were available, and the experience likely far from relaxing. Contrast this with the bathing habits of the wealthy and the nobility. They had access to more resources, including private bathing facilities within their castles or manor houses. These bathing facilities were far from luxurious by modern standards, but they offered a level of privacy and comfort unavailable to the common people. Even for the wealthy, however, bathing was not a daily occurrence. The frequency of bathing among the wealthy was largely dictated by social conventions and religious influences. The church, with its emphasis on ritual purity, played a significant role in shaping perceptions of cleanliness. While not necessarily advocating for frequent bathing, the church emphasized spiritual purity, often associating cleanliness with piety and virtue. Interestingly, the influence of the church on bathing practices was often paradoxical. While cleanliness was associated with piety, the belief that water could potentially weaken the body contributed to the infrequency of bathing. This seeming contradiction reflects the complex interplay of religious beliefs and medical understanding of the time. However, the association of cleanliness with piety is important to note. The concept of cleanliness is next to godliness is not a modern invention, but reflects a long-standing connection between physical purity and spiritual well-being. This connection influenced the bathing habits of both the wealthy and the poor, albeit to different degrees. The social aspects of bathing were also significant. For the nobility, bathing could be a social event, an opportunity for socializing and displaying wealth. Imagine the grand bathing halls of medieval castles, with elaborate tubs and attendants providing services. These events, however, were far from frequent, emphasizing that even for the elite, bathing was not a daily affair. In conclusion, medieval bathing practices were profoundly influenced by a complex interplay of social, religious, and medical factors. The infrequent bathing of the time was not simply a matter of personal preference, but a product of deeply ingrained beliefs and practical constraints. This contrasts sharply with our modern approach to hygiene, highlighting the tremendous advancements in our understanding of disease transmission and the importance of regular bathing for maintaining good health. The contrast between the medieval approach and our own is a testament to the progress made in public health and hygiene over the centuries. The medieval period serves as a fascinating case study in how cultural attitudes and beliefs shape hygiene practices, emphasizing the need for a scientific understanding of health and disease to guide our actions. The evolution from the infrequent, often communal baths of the medieval era to the widespread availability and acceptance of daily showers and baths is a testament to the progress of both knowledge and technology. As we continue our journey through the fascinating and sometimes unsettling history of hygiene, let us now transport ourselves to the 19th century, a period of significant transformation in attitudes towards cleanliness and sanitation. The Industrial Revolution, with its burgeoning cities and dense populations, brought about new challenges and a growing awareness of the link between hygiene and public health. This era witnessed the rise of public bathhouses, a pivotal development in the fight against disease and the promotion of improved living conditions. Before the widespread adoption of indoor plumbing and private bathrooms, public bathhouses served as essential centers for communal cleansing. In some areas, there were simple structures offering basic washing facilities, while in others, there were more elaborate establishments, featuring separate bathing areas for men and women, and even incorporating swimming pools or other recreational amenities. The experience of bathing in a 19th century public bathhouse was far from luxurious by modern standards. The water was often shared, and the facilities were not always impeccably clean. Yet, the availability of these public bathhouses represented a significant improvement over the limited bathing opportunities available to many people in previous centuries. The role of these establishments in improving public health cannot be overstated. Prior to their widespread adoption, many individuals had limited access to clean water and bathing facilities. This lack of hygiene contributed to the spread of infectious diseases, significantly impacting mortality rates, particularly in densely populated urban areas. The introduction of public bathhouses provided a crucial opportunity for people to improve their personal hygiene, thereby reducing the transmission of illness. The rise of public bathhouses was accompanied by a shift in attitudes towards hygiene and sanitation. While the belief that water could cause illness lingered in some quarters, the growing understanding of the link between cleanliness and health began to gain traction. Public health officials and reformers increasingly advocated for improved sanitation practices, recognizing the critical role of hygiene in preventing the spread of disease. This growing awareness led to the implementation of various public health initiatives aimed at improving sanitation and hygiene in cities. The construction of public water systems and the introduction of sewage systems were pivotal developments, significantly reducing the incidence of waterborne diseases. These public works projects were often monumental undertakings, requiring significant investment and coordination among various stakeholders. The 19th century also witnessed the development of new technologies and products that contributed to improved personal hygiene. The mass production of soap, for instance, made this essential cleaning agent more accessible to the general population. The invention of new types of washing machines further simplified the laundry process, enabling individuals to maintain cleaner clothes and linens. However, the progress in hygiene and sanitation during the 19th century was not uniform across all social classes. While public bathhouses offered a valuable service, access to these facilities and the broader improvements in sanitation varied, depending on socioeconomic status. The wealthy and middle classes often had access to private bathrooms and better sanitation facilities in their homes, while the poor continued to face significant challenges in accessing clean water and adequate sanitation. The legacy of the 19th century efforts in public health is profound. The construction of public bathhouses and the implementation of improved sanitation systems laid the groundwork for the modern hygiene standards we enjoy today. While the facilities and practices of the time might seem rudimentary compared to our current standards, their impact on public health was undeniable. The story of 19th century public bathhouses is a testament to the power of collective action to address pressing public health concerns. The integration of public health initiatives with technological advancements and evolving attitudes towards hygiene marked a turning point in the history of sanitation and public health. It represents a significant step forward in the long and fascinating evolution of our understanding and practice of hygiene, a story that continues to unfold even to this day. The journey from the communal bathhouses to our modern, private bathrooms highlights the continuous progress in improving health and well-being through better sanitation and hygiene practices. The changes implemented in the 19th century form a crucial bridge between the past and the present, connecting the often unsanitary realities of earlier eras to the improved public health standards that define our modern world. Now, let us step into the refined, yet surprisingly complex world of Victorian-era hygiene. The Victorian era, spanning much of the 19th century, witnessed a gradual but significant shift in hygiene practices, driven by technological advancements and a growing understanding of germ theory. While the era is often romanticized for its elegance and etiquette, the realities of sanitation and hygiene were a fascinating blend of progress and persistent challenges. The introduction of new sanitation technologies played a crucial role in shaping Victorian hygiene standards. The development of improved sewage systems and the expansion of public water supplies were monumental achievements, significantly reducing the spread of waterborne diseases in urban centers. Imagine the quiet hum of a newly installed water pump, a symbol of progress in a world still grappling with the consequences of inadequate sanitation. These advancements, although unevenly distributed across social classes, marked a considerable improvement over the unsanitary conditions of previous eras. However, even with these technological advancements, the Victorian era still grappled with significant sanitation challenges. Overcrowding in rapidly expanding cities led to persistent issues with waste disposal and inadequate drainage. The stench of overflowing sewers and the pervasive presence of refuse were common realities, particularly in poorer neighborhoods, highlighting the uneven distribution of sanitation improvements. The contrast between the opulent cleanliness of the upper classes and the squalor of the working class underscores the social inequalities that influenced the experience of hygiene during this time. The growing awareness of germ theory, pioneered by scientists like Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch, began to revolutionize understanding of disease transmission. This new scientific understanding gradually challenged long-held beliefs about the causes of illness, paving the way for more effective hygiene practices. The microscopic world, previously invisible, was now revealed, changing the way people perceive cleanliness and the potential dangers of unsanitary conditions. While the concept of germs was slowly gaining acceptance, the practical application of this knowledge was still in its early stages. The widespread adoption of antiseptic techniques in hospitals and medical practices, for example, was still in its infancy. The sterilization of surgical instruments and the use of disinfectants were not yet standardized practices, highlighting the ongoing struggle to translate scientific advancements into widespread improvements in hygiene. The Victorian era also witnessed a rising emphasis on personal hygiene, reflected in the growing popularity of bathing and the increased availability of soap and other cleaning products. However, the frequency and methods of bathing varied considerably depending on social class and economic factors. While the wealthy enjoyed regular baths in private facilities, the working class often had limited access to bathing opportunities and relied on less frequent washing. The Victorian obsession with cleanliness extended beyond mere physical hygiene. The era also saw a heightened emphasis on domestic cleanliness and the maintenance of a pristine home environment. The meticulous cleaning of homes and the careful arrangement of furnishings reflected the era's cultural emphasis on order, propriety, and the avoidance of disease. This cultural emphasis on cleanliness, however, was often at odds with the realities of sanitation in many urban areas, creating a fascinating tension between ideal and reality. The Victorian era's focus on hygiene was also reflected in the development of new household cleaning products and techniques. The increasing availability of commercial cleaning agents and the refinement of cleaning methods contributed to the overall improvement of domestic hygiene. The introduction of new technologies, such as improved washing machines and vacuum cleaners, further facilitated the maintenance of a cleaner home environment. Despite the significant progress in sanitation and hygiene during the Victorian era, it is important to acknowledge the limitations and inequalities that persisted. The uneven distribution of sanitation improvements, the slow adoption of antiseptic techniques, and the ongoing challenges posed by overcrowding and inadequate waste disposal highlight the complex interplay of social, economic, and technological factors that shaped the Victorian experience of hygiene. In conclusion, the Victorian era stands as a pivotal period in the history of hygiene, marked by the introduction of new sanitation technologies, the growing understanding of germ theory, and the rising emphasis on personal and domestic cleanliness. While the era witnessed remarkable advancements in improving sanitation and hygiene, it also highlighted the enduring challenges of achieving equitable access to clean water, sanitation, and health care. The Victorian era's legacy serves as a reminder of the continuous struggle to translate scientific understanding and technological advancements into widespread improvements in public health and well-being. The story of Victorian hygiene, with its mixture of progress and persistent challenges, offers valuable insights into the complex and ongoing evolution of our understanding and practice of hygiene. Let us now delve into the fascinating and often complex interplay between religious beliefs and hygiene practices throughout history. Across diverse cultures and time periods, religious doctrines and interpretations have profoundly shaped perceptions of cleanliness, purity, and the body itself, leading to a wide spectrum of hygiene practices, some seemingly contradictory to modern sensibilities. In many ancient cultures, ritual purity played a central role in religious observances. Consider the elaborate purification rituals practiced in ancient Egypt, where the Nile River, a life-giving force, also served as a source of cleansing and renewal. The meticulous washing and anointing of the body before approaching sacred spaces or participating in religious ceremonies represented a profound connection between physical cleanliness and spiritual purity. Imagine the gentle lapping of the Nile against the skin, a symbol of both physical and spiritual cleansing. In ancient Greece, religious practices were closely intertwined with public bathing and athletic contests. The public bathhouses, not only places of social interaction, were also integral to the preparation for religious festivals and athletic competitions. The ritualistic cleansing of the body before participating in these events emphasized the importance of purity and physical fitness in the pursuit of both physical and spiritual excellence. Picture the warm steam rising from the ancient baths, the gentle splashing of water, the sounds of conversation and laughter mingling with the quiet reverence of preparation. The rise of Christianity brought forth a new set of beliefs and practices that significantly influenced hygiene standards. Early Christian asceticism, with its emphasis on spiritual purity over material concerns, sometimes led to a downplaying of physical cleanliness. However, this was not a universally consistent approach, and the practice of hygiene varied considerably across different Christian communities and throughout different historical periods. The medieval period saw a complex interplay between religious beliefs and hygiene practices. The decline of public bathhouses in many parts of Europe, often attributed to the association of bathing with pagan practices, contributed to a decrease in bathing frequency among the populace. The prevailing belief that water could transmit disease further reinforced the reluctance to bathe regularly. However, the practice of washing hands before prayer and other religious rituals remained an important aspect of religious observance. In contrast to the relative decline of bathing in medieval Europe, Islamic cultures placed a strong emphasis on cleanliness and hygiene, rooted in religious teachings. The Quran emphasizes the importance of ritual purification, wudu, involving washing the face, hands, arms, and feet before prayer. This emphasis on ritual cleanliness permeated various aspects of daily life in Islamic societies, leading to the construction of elaborate public bathhouses, hammams, and the development of advanced sanitation systems. Imagine the soothing warmth of the hammam, the fragrant steam, the gentle scrubbing of the skin, all part of a ritual that connects the body and spirit. In many cultures, religious beliefs shaped not only the practices of personal hygiene, but also the disposal of waste and the maintenance of public sanitation. The importance of maintaining a clean and orderly environment, often rooted in religious teachings, influenced the construction of public toilets, sewers, and other sanitation infrastructure in various historical periods. The concept of sacred space often extended beyond temples and religious structures to encompass the broader environment. The impact of religious beliefs on hygiene practices extends beyond the mere act of washing. The concept of ritual purity, often linked to religious observances, encompasses a broader spectrum of behaviors, including dietary restrictions, avoidance of certain substances, and specific ways of dressing and behaving. These practices, though seemingly unrelated to physical hygiene, profoundly influence the overall perception of cleanliness and purity. It is important to acknowledge that religious influence on hygiene is not always straightforward or consistent. The interpretation and application of religious teachings regarding cleanliness varied considerably across different communities and time periods, reflecting the complex interplay between religious beliefs, social norms, and resource availability. In conclusion, religion's role in shaping hygiene practices throughout history is multifaceted and complex. Religious beliefs have not only directly influenced the frequency and methods of bathing and personal cleansing, but have also shaped broader perceptions of purity, cleanliness, and a relationship between the body and the spiritual realm. From the elaborate purification rituals of ancient Egypt to the meticulous cleanliness emphasized in Islamic cultures, religious doctrines have left an indelible mark on the historical trajectory of hygiene practices across diverse cultures and time periods. This complex relationship underscores the deeply intertwined nature of religious belief, social practices, and the evolution of hygiene throughout history. Now, let's turn our attention to a rather personal aspect of hygiene, the care of our teeth. The methods employed throughout history for cleaning teeth offer a fascinating glimpse into the ingenuity and limitations of past societies. While the modern toothbrush and toothpaste seem commonplace to us, the journey to their development was long and winding, filled with surprisingly diverse and sometimes unconventional techniques. In ancient civilizations, the quest for clean teeth often relied on readily available natural materials. Chewing on twigs, particularly those with fibrous textures, was a common practice across various cultures. Imagine the gentle abrasion of a chosen twig against your teeth, a simple yet effective method for removing food particles and plaque. Different cultures favored specific types of twigs, selecting those with properties believed to enhance cleaning or provide additional oral health benefits. Some twigs contain natural astringents or antimicrobial compounds, adding another layer to their effectiveness. The use of twigs, however, wasn't the only method employed. In some cultures, people used frayed cloths or soft fibers to gently scrub their teeth. Picture the soft texture against your gums, the gentle back-and-forth motion removing the debris left behind by a meal. These materials, though less abrasive than twigs, still offered a degree of cleaning, helping to maintain oral hygiene within the limitations of the available tools and technology. As civilizations advanced, so did their approaches to dental care. Early forms of toothbrushes emerged, often crafted from animal bones or natural fibers bound together. These rudimentary brushes, far simpler than their modern counterparts, represented a significant step in the evolution of dental hygiene. Imagine the slightly coarser bristles against your teeth, a more structured approach to cleaning compared to the more haphazard method of using twigs or cloths. The materials used in these early toothbrushes varied greatly, depending on the available resources and cultural preferences. Some cultures used boar bristles, while others employed the fibers of plants or other natural materials. The effectiveness of these early brushes was limited by their design and the lack of understanding of oral hygiene principles. Nevertheless, they represented a significant advancement in the quest for cleaner teeth and improved oral health. In some ancient cultures, the use of abrasive powders was also common. These powders, often made from crushed shells, minerals, or herbs, were applied to the teeth to remove stains and plaque. Imagine the gritty texture of these powders, a more abrasive approach to cleaning that could remove surface stains but also posed a risk of damaging the enamel over time. This reflects the inherent trade-off between removing surface stains and the potential for long-term dental damage. The development of more sophisticated techniques for cleaning teeth was a gradual process, influenced by both technological innovation and the growing understanding of oral health. The transition from simple twigs and cloths to more structured brushes and abrasive powders reflects the evolution of dental hygiene practices across different cultures and time periods. While these early methods lacked the sophistication of modern dental care, they nevertheless played a crucial role in maintaining oral health within the limitations of the available resources and knowledge. The effectiveness of these early methods varied considerably, depending on the materials used, the technique employed, and individual oral hygiene practices. While they offered a degree of cleaning and helped to remove food particles and surface stains, they lacked the thoroughness and efficacy of modern brushing techniques. Many early methods, while providing some level of cleaning, could also potentially damage the enamel or gums if used improperly. Nevertheless, these early attempts at tooth cleaning represent an important step in the evolution of dental hygiene, paving the way for the more sophisticated methods employed today. The story of early tooth cleaning methods is a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. From a simple yet effective use of twigs to the development of rudimentary toothbrushes and abrasive powders, these early practices represent a fascinating journey through the evolution of dental care. While these methods may seem primitive by modern standards, they offer a valuable perspective on the challenges and triumphs of maintaining oral hygiene throughout history. Their limitations underscore the remarkable advancements in dental technology and oral hygiene practices that have occurred in recent centuries, leading to the vastly improved oral health we enjoy today. The story of soap, a seemingly simple substance, is a long and fascinating journey reflecting humanity's evolving understanding of cleanliness and hygiene. Its development wasn't a sudden invention, but a gradual process, spanning millennia and involving diverse cultures and accidental discoveries. Imagine the early days, long before the readily available bars of soap we use today, when the concept of cleaning with soap was still in its infancy. Evidence suggests that soap-like substances were used as far back as 2800 BC in ancient Babylon. Clay tablets from this period detail a recipe for a soap-like material, hinting at a primitive understanding of its cleansing properties. Picture the scene: a bustling Babylonian marketplace, the air thick with the smells of spices and trade, and within a humble workshop, the creation of this early form of soap, a mixture of ashes, water, and oils, slowly taking shape. Its appearance likely differed greatly from the soap we know today, yet represented a significant step in the pursuit of cleanliness. The ancient Egyptians also contributed to the early development of soap. Papyrus scrolls describe the use of a substance made from animal fats and plant oils, combined with alkaline substances. Imagine the Nile River, its waters teeming with life, and alongside its banks, the meticulous process of creating this early form of soap, a testament to their understanding of its cleansing powers. This soap, though different from modern soap, was used for both cleansing the body and for various other purposes, reflecting its multifaceted role in ancient Egyptian life. The ancient Romans, renowned for their advanced civilization and public bathhouses, also utilized soap-like substances. Their soap, often made from animal fats and vegetable oils, was used for cleaning and other purposes. Picture the grand Roman bathhouses bustling with activity, and within this vibrant setting, the use of soap for cleansing, a testament to their appreciation for hygiene and social interaction. The Romans' sophisticated approach to public baths and their use of soap-like substances showcase their understanding of cleanliness as a vital part of their society. Throughout the Middle Ages, soap-making continued, albeit with limited understanding of its chemical properties. The craft was often passed down through families, with recipes and techniques guarded closely. Imagine a medieval village, its streets narrow and winding, and within a humble home, the careful preparation of soap, a process involving a blend of fats and ashes, a testament to the enduring importance of cleanliness despite the challenges of the time. The soap made during this period was often rough and impure, yet it continued to serve as a vital cleansing agent. The Renaissance brought about renewed interest in scientific inquiry, including the study of soap making. Alchemists and scientists began to experiment with different ingredients and techniques, leading to improvements in soap quality. Imagine the bustling workshops of Renaissance scientists, their laboratories filled with bubbling concoctions, and within these spaces, the refined understanding of soap's chemical properties, leading to a more refined and effective product. This period of scientific exploration laid the groundwork for the mass production of soap in the centuries to come. The 19th century marked a turning point in the history of soap making with the advent of mass production techniques. Advances in chemistry and industrial processes led to the creation of high-quality soap on a large scale. Picture the sprawling factories of the Industrial Revolution, filled with machinery and the scent of freshly made soap, a testament to the transformative power of industrialization and its impact on hygiene practices. The mass production of soap made it more widely available, leading to significant improvements in hygiene and public health. The development of soap is a remarkable story of human ingenuity and the pursuit of cleanliness. From its humble beginnings in ancient civilizations to its mass production in the modern era, soap's journey reflects our evolving understanding of hygiene and its importance in maintaining health and well-being. The transformation from crude mixtures to the refined products we use today illustrates the significant advancements that have occurred over millennia, profoundly impacting our lives and the hygiene practices we take for granted. The story of soap is a testament to the power of human innovation and its enduring impact on our lives. Let us now journey across the Atlantic to the shores of a burgeoning nation, the American colonies. Picture the scene, a landscape both promising and challenging, a world where the rhythms of nature dictated much of daily life, and the pursuit of cleanliness faced unique obstacles. The colonists, pioneers in a new land, brought with them established hygiene practices, yet the realities of their environment often forced adaptations and compromises. Imagine the early settlements, small clusters of homes huddled together for mutual support. Water, a precious resource, was often sourced from wells or rivers, its purity questionable at best. The absence of widespread sanitation systems meant that waste disposal was a significant challenge. Picture overflowing chamber pots, the pungent smell of refuse permeating the air, a stark contrast to the idealized image of colonial life. This wasn't a glamorous reality, but the harsh truth of existence in the burgeoning settlements. Personal hygiene, though valued, was often limited by practicality. Soap, a luxury in many cases, was made from locally available ingredients, its quality often inconsistent. Bathing, a practice valued in many European cultures, became a more infrequent affair due to water scarcity and the lack of convenient bathing facilities. Imagine the colonists, their clothes often soiled from labor, attempting to maintain cleanliness with limited resources, a daily struggle against the elements and the realities of frontier life. The prevalence of disease underscored the importance of cleanliness, yet the limited understanding of germ theory hampered efforts to control the spread of infection. Epidemics were a constant threat, sweeping through communities and leaving devastation in their wake. Picture the fear in the eyes of the colonists as disease ravaged their settlements, a stark reminder of the precariousness of life and the constant struggle against illness. This constant battle against disease underscored the limitations of their hygiene practices and the need for better sanitation. Clothing, often made from coarse materials, was difficult to clean and often worn for extended periods. Imagine the colonists, their hands calloused from work, attempting to launder their clothes using rudimentary methods, a testament to their resourcefulness and resilience. The lack of readily available clean clothing contributed to the spread of disease and highlighted the challenges of maintaining personal hygiene in a harsh environment. Oral hygiene also presented a challenge. Toothbrushes were scarce, and the colonists often relied on rudimentary methods to clean their teeth, such as twigs or cloths. Imagine the colonists, their smiles revealing the wear and tear of a life lived in the frontier, their daily routines a testament to their ability to adapt and persevere. The lack of sophisticated dental care resulted in widespread tooth decay, a common ailment among the colonial population. Waste disposal, a crucial aspect of sanitation, was largely rudimentary. Open sewers and privy pits were common, posing a significant risk of disease transmission. Imagine the streets of colonial settlements, their pathways littered with refuse, a testament to the challenges of sanitation in a rapidly growing population. This inadequate waste disposal system contributed to the spread of disease and underscored the need for improved sanitation. Food preparation and storage presented their own set of hygiene challenges. The absence of refrigeration and proper food preservation techniques led to rapid spoilage and the risk of foodborne illnesses. Imagine the colonists carefully storing their food, attempting to preserve it for as long as possible, their daily routines shaped by the realities of their environment. The lack of modern food preservation methods contributed to disease and highlighted the importance of careful food handling. The challenges faced by the colonists in maintaining hygiene reflect the realities of establishing a new society in a challenging environment. The limited resources, coupled with the lack of sophisticated sanitation systems, significantly hampered their efforts to maintain cleanliness and control the spread of disease. Their struggles underscore the importance of sanitation and the crucial role it plays in public health. The story of hygiene in the American colonies is a powerful reminder of the constant struggle against disease and the vital role that sanitation plays in the well-being of communities. Their resilience and ingenuity, even in the face of adversity, serve as a testament to the human spirit and the constant pursuit of better health and well-being. Now, let's delve into a darker aspect of history's hygiene practices: the devastating consequences of poor sanitation and the inextricable link between uncleanliness and the spread of infectious diseases. Throughout history, countless lives have been tragically cut short by illnesses that thrived in environments lacking basic hygiene. Let us explore this somber reality, understanding that while the past holds many fascinating practices, it also offers a stark warning about the importance of cleanliness. Imagine the bustling streets of ancient cities, a vibrant tapestry of human activity, yet beneath the surface lurked a silent killer: disease. The absence of proper sanitation systems meant that waste accumulated, creating breeding grounds for pathogens. Picture the overflowing cesspools, the stagnant water, the ubiquitous stench, a constant reminder of the perilous conditions in which people lived. These were not isolated incidents. This was the daily reality for much of humanity throughout history. The lack of understanding about germ theory further exacerbated the problem. For centuries, people lacked the scientific knowledge to comprehend the invisible enemies that threatened their well-being. They believed in miasmas, foul-smelling air, as the cause of disease, missing the crucial link between microorganisms and illness. This lack of understanding hindered efforts to implement effective preventative measures. Consider the devastating impact of the bubonic plague, the Black Death, which swept across Europe in the 14th century. The unsanitary conditions of medieval cities, with their overcrowded streets and inadequate waste disposal, provided the perfect breeding ground for the disease-carrying fleas. Picture the stark reality: entire communities decimated, streets littered with the deceased, a chilling testament to the destructive power of disease in an environment lacking basic hygiene. The plague was not a singular event. Countless epidemics throughout history have demonstrated the deadly consequences of poor hygiene. Smallpox, another devastating illness, ravaged populations across the globe for centuries. The highly contagious nature of smallpox, coupled with the lack of effective prevention methods, made it a constant threat. Imagine the fear and desperation of communities as smallpox swept through, leaving behind a trail of suffering and death. The absence of basic hygiene practices amplified the spread of this deadly disease. Typhus, cholera, and dysentery are just a few examples of diseases that thrived in unsanitary conditions. These illnesses, often fatal, spread rapidly in environments lacking proper sanitation and hygiene practices. Picture the overcrowded tenements of industrial cities, where poverty and poor sanitation created a breeding ground for disease. The lack of access to clean water and proper waste disposal contributed to the widespread suffering and death. The impact of poor hygiene extended beyond individual suffering. The loss of life due to infectious diseases had far-reaching consequences on societies. Economic productivity declined, social structures were disrupted, and communities were devastated. Imagine the ripple effect of disease, its impact extending beyond individual lives to affect entire societies. The consequences of poor hygiene were not limited to the immediate victims. They had profound and long-lasting repercussions. The history of disease is a stark reminder of the importance of hygiene. The lessons learned from past epidemics should serve as a constant guide in our efforts to improve sanitation and prevent the spread of infectious illnesses. By understanding the devastating impact of poor hygiene, we can better appreciate the importance of maintaining clean and healthy environments. The past serves as a cautionary tale, urging us to prioritize hygiene and sanitation to protect the health and well-being of communities. The fight against disease continues, but the lessons learned from history provide a roadmap for a healthier future. Let the echoes of the past serve as a constant reminder of the critical role that hygiene plays in safeguarding public health. Now, let's consider a particularly grim chapter in the history of hygiene: the devastating impact of warfare. Throughout history, conflict has not only claimed lives through direct violence, but has also created environments ripe for the spread of disease, often claiming far more lives than the battles themselves. The conditions of war fundamentally disrupt hygiene practices, creating a perfect storm for outbreaks of infectious illnesses. Imagine the crowded, unsanitary conditions of a medieval battlefield. Thousands of soldiers, often living in close proximity for extended periods, lacked access to clean water, sanitation, and proper waste disposal. Picture the scene: the stench of rotting flesh, the piles of refuse, the contaminated water sources, a breeding ground for disease. These grim realities were not unique to the medieval period. They have been repeated throughout history in various conflicts. The lack of hygiene during wartime is not merely a matter of inconvenience. It's a life-or-death issue. The close quarters, poor sanitation, and lack of access to clean water create an environment where infectious diseases can easily spread. Consider the devastating impact of typhus, dysentery, and cholera on armies throughout history. These diseases, often more lethal than enemy weapons, decimated ranks, undermining military campaigns and leaving lasting scars on populations. The movement of troops across vast distances often further exacerbated the problem. As armies marched, they carried with them not only weapons, but also diseases. Picture the trail of sickness left in their wake, as contaminated water sources and the movement of infected individuals spread illnesses to civilian populations. Warfare, therefore, had a devastating impact not just on soldiers, but also on the civilian populations caught in its path. The conditions in military camps were equally dire. The lack of adequate sanitation facilities, coupled with the sheer number of people living in close proximity, created a breeding ground for disease. Picture the cramped tents, the overflowing latrines, the contaminated water, a grim reality for soldiers throughout history. This environment facilitated the rapid spread of infectious diseases, leading to widespread suffering and death. The lack of access to clean water further amplified the problem. Soldiers often had to rely on contaminated water sources, increasing their risk of waterborne diseases. Picture the soldiers drawing water from a river or stream, unknowingly ingesting pathogens that would later cause illness. This lack of access to clean water was a constant threat, undermining the health and morale of troops. The issue of hygiene extended beyond the battlefield and into the aftermath of conflict. The destruction of infrastructure often left communities vulnerable to disease outbreaks. Picture the damaged sanitation systems, the contaminated water supplies, and a lack of access to medical care, a grim reality for populations in the wake of war. The aftermath of conflict often saw a surge in infectious diseases, further compounding the suffering. The psychological impact of war also played a role in hygiene practices. The trauma of battle, the constant threat of death, and the overwhelming stress of conflict can lead to neglect of personal hygiene. Picture the exhausted soldier, too preoccupied with survival to focus on maintaining basic cleanliness. This neglect, coupled with the unsanitary conditions of war, created a vicious cycle of disease and suffering. The 20th century witnessed the horrors of trench warfare during World War I. The confined spaces of the trenches, combined with the lack of sanitation and the constant presence of mud and water, created ideal conditions for the spread of disease. Picture the trenches, a muddy, rat-infested landscape, a breeding ground for disease and despair. The conditions in the trenches were so horrific that disease often became a greater threat than enemy fire. The lessons learned from the devastating impact of disease during wartime have influenced hygiene practices and medical advancements. The development of vaccines, antibiotics, and improved sanitation techniques has greatly reduced the mortality rate associated with infectious diseases in modern warfare. However, the history of war serves as a stark reminder of the importance of hygiene and the devastating consequences of neglecting it. The impact of warfare on hygiene is a complex and multifaceted issue, spanning centuries and impacting countless lives. The unsanitary conditions associated with conflict have created environments ripe for the spread of disease, often claiming more lives than the battles themselves. The history of war serves as a stark reminder of the crucial link between hygiene, sanitation, and public health, a lesson that continues to shape our understanding of the importance of preparedness and preventative measures in times of conflict. The echoes of these past experiences remind us of the enduring importance of hygiene, not just in times of peace, but especially during periods of conflict. Let's now turn our attention to a pivotal invention that profoundly reshaped sanitation and public health: the toilet. Its evolution, a journey spanning millennia, reveals fascinating insights into humanity's evolving understanding of hygiene and waste disposal. While the concept of relieving oneself might seem mundane, the history of the toilet is a testament to human ingenuity and our ongoing quest for improved sanitation. Early forms of toilets were surprisingly simple. Ancient civilizations, lacking the advanced materials and engineering of later periods, relied on basic systems. Picture, if you will, the latrines of ancient Minoan Crete, simple structures built into the walls of palaces, offering a rudimentary form of privacy and waste disposal. These early systems, while rudimentary, represented a crucial step in managing waste and preventing contamination. The ancient Romans, renowned for their engineering prowess, took sanitation to a new level. Their public latrines, often elaborate structures accommodating multiple users, were a marvel of their time. Imagine the bustling atmosphere of a Roman public latrine, a social hub where citizens gathered, engaging in conversation while attending to their needs. These latrines, while lacking the privacy of modern toilets, showcased a commitment to public sanitation that was remarkably advanced for their time. The intricate network of sewers and aqueducts, essential components of their sanitation system, further underscored their dedication to managing waste effectively. The Romans' understanding of water management played a vital role in their sanitation practices. The fall of the Roman Empire marked a significant decline in sanitation standards throughout Europe. The sophisticated systems developed by the Romans gradually fell into disrepair, leading to a period of unsanitary conditions. Imagine the medieval streets, often overflowing with refuse and human waste, a stark contrast to the organized sanitation of the Roman era. This period highlights the fragility of sanitation infrastructure and the importance of ongoing maintenance and investment in public health. The medieval period saw a return to simpler methods of waste disposal. Chamber pots, easily moved containers for human waste, became commonplace in homes. Picture the quiet emptying of a chamber pot into a nearby privy, a nightly ritual in many medieval homes. While far from ideal, these chamber pots represented a practical solution for managing waste in a time of limited sanitation infrastructure. The reliance on chamber pots, however, also contributed to the unsanitary conditions prevalent during this era. As cities grew in size and population density during the Renaissance and beyond, the need for improved sanitation became increasingly apparent. The stench of overflowing cesspits and the risk of disease outbreaks prompted innovations in waste disposal. Picture the development of more sophisticated privy systems, often incorporating cesspools and rudimentary flushing mechanisms. These systems, while still basic by modern standards, represented a step towards improved sanitation. The 16th century witnessed the invention of the flushing toilet, though it was far from the modern device we know today. Early versions of the flushing toilet, often relying on gravity-fed systems, were expensive and only accessible to the wealthy. Picture the grandeur of a wealthy household, equipped with a flushing toilet, a symbol of status and luxury. The development of the flushing toilet, however, marked a significant milestone in the evolution of sanitation technology. The 19th century brought significant advancements in sanitation technology. The invention of the flush toilet, as we know it today, was a game-changer, drastically improving hygiene and public health. Picture the improvements in water supply and drainage systems, coupled with the widespread adoption of the flush toilet, transforming urban environments. This era witnessed a significant reduction in the spread of waterborne diseases, a testament to the impact of technological advancements on public health. The development of the modern toilet was not a single event, but rather a gradual process, shaped by technological advancements, changing social norms, and a growing understanding of public health. The invention of improved plumbing, water treatment systems, and sanitation infrastructure played a crucial role in the widespread adoption of the flush toilet. The modern toilet, with its efficient flushing mechanism and hygienic design, stands as a testament to human ingenuity and our ongoing commitment to improving sanitation. The widespread adoption of the modern toilet has had a profound impact on public health. The ability to efficiently dispose of human waste has drastically reduced the spread of waterborne diseases, improving the overall health and well-being of populations worldwide. Picture the transformation of cities, once plagued by disease and unsanitary conditions, into healthier and safer environments. The modern toilet is more than just a fixture in our homes. It is a symbol of progress in sanitation and public health. The history of the toilet is a reminder of the ongoing quest for improved sanitation and hygiene. From rudimentary latrines to the modern flush toilet, the evolution of this seemingly simple invention reflects humanity's commitment to creating healthier and more livable environments. The journey from ancient sanitation systems to the modern toilet underscores the importance of innovation and technological advancements in addressing public health challenges. The story of the toilet is a testament to the power of human ingenuity in improving living conditions and promoting well-being for generations to come. As our journey through the annals of hygiene continues, let us now consider the pivotal role played by public health campaigns in shaping hygiene practices. These campaigns, often born from necessity and fueled by growing scientific understanding, have been instrumental in improving public health and well-being. Their impact, woven into the fabric of societal change, has been nothing short of transformative. Before the advent of modern medicine and public health initiatives, infectious diseases ravaged populations worldwide. The lack of understanding about germ theory and the transmission of diseases resulted in widespread suffering and mortality. Imagine the grim reality of life in a pre-modern city, where unsanitary conditions and a lack of awareness fostered the spread of epidemics. The absence of organized public health campaigns left communities vulnerable to devastating outbreaks. The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed a significant shift in public health approaches. The germ theory of disease, a landmark scientific discovery, revolutionized our understanding of disease transmission. Imagine the excitement of the scientific community as they began to unravel the mysteries of microscopic organisms and their role in causing illness. This newfound knowledge laid the groundwork for targeted interventions and public health campaigns aimed at improving hygiene practices. Early public health campaigns were often simple yet effective. They focused on educating the public about basic hygiene practices, such as hand washing, proper food handling, and the importance of clean water. Picture the posters and pamphlets that adorn public spaces, conveying simple yet crucial messages about hygiene. These campaigns, while limited by the technology of the time, were remarkably successful in raising awareness and promoting behavioral changes. One of the most significant early public health campaigns focused on sanitation. The construction of sewage systems, water treatment plants, and improved waste disposal methods dramatically reduced the incidence of waterborne diseases. Imagine the transformation of urban landscapes as sanitation infrastructure improved, leading to cleaner streets and a reduction in the spread of disease. These infrastructure developments, coupled with public awareness campaigns, played a critical role in enhancing public health. The role of government in public health campaigns became increasingly prominent during the 20th century. Governments began investing in public health infrastructure, creating agencies responsible for monitoring disease outbreaks and implementing public health initiatives. Picture the establishment of public health departments and the creation of national public health agencies dedicated to improving the health and well-being of their citizens. These government efforts played a crucial role in coordinating and implementing large-scale public health campaigns. The mid-20th century witnessed the emergence of mass media as a powerful tool for public health campaigns. Radio, television, and print media were used to disseminate information about hygiene practices and promote healthy behaviors. Imagine the captivating images and catchy slogans that graced television screens and radio broadcasts, spreading messages about hand washing, food safety, and disease prevention. Mass media campaigns successfully reached vast audiences, fostering widespread awareness and behavioral change. The latter half of the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st century have seen increasingly sophisticated public health campaigns. These campaigns leverage scientific research, behavioral science, and communication technologies to design effective interventions. Imagine the use of social marketing techniques, tailored messages, and community engagement initiatives to promote healthy habits. Modern public health campaigns are not only informative but also empowering, recognizing the importance of individual agency in promoting health and well-being. The success of public health campaigns depends on a multitude of factors, including the clarity of the message, the credibility of the source, and the engagement of the target audience. Imagine the impact of a well-designed campaign that effectively communicates the importance of hygiene, empowering individuals to adopt healthy practices. These campaigns, carefully crafted and strategically implemented, have had a profound impact on public health outcomes. In conclusion, public health campaigns have played a crucial role in promoting better hygiene practices and improving public health. From the simple educational pamphlets of the early 20th century to the sophisticated multimedia campaigns of today, these initiatives have effectively raised awareness, promoted behavioral change, and helped to build healthier communities. The history of public health campaigns serves as a testament to the power of collective action and the transformative potential of well-designed interventions. The ongoing evolution of these campaigns reflects our commitment to improving the health and well-being of individuals and communities worldwide. The legacy of these campaigns is a healthier, safer world for generations to come. Now, let's delve into the fascinating and often stark disparities in hygiene practices across different social strata throughout history. The availability of resources, societal norms, and even prevailing beliefs often dictated the level of cleanliness experienced by various social classes, creating a complex tapestry of cleanliness and unhygienic practices. In ancient civilizations, such as Egypt and Rome, the elite often enjoyed a level of cleanliness far exceeding that of the common populace. Imagine the opulent baths of Roman emperors and patricians, a stark contrast to the cramped and unsanitary living conditions of the city's lower classes. While the wealthy basked in the luxury of hot springs and perfumed oils, the poor often lacked access to clean water and sanitation, leading to a higher incidence of disease. The availability of clean water played a crucial role in determining hygiene standards across different social classes. In many ancient societies, access to clean water sources was often limited, with the wealthy having exclusive access to private wells and aqueducts. Picture the stark difference between a wealthy household with its own private water source and a poor family relying on a shared, often contaminated, water supply. This unequal access directly impacted hygiene practices and disease prevalence. The use of personal hygiene items also varied significantly across social classes. While the elite could afford luxurious perfumes, soaps, and grooming tools, the poor often lacked access to such items. Imagine the contrast between a wealthy woman using imported perfumes and fine combs and a peasant woman using simple herbs and water for cleansing. This disparity in access to hygiene products led to a significant difference in personal cleanliness. The construction and maintenance of sanitation facilities further highlighted the disparity in hygiene standards across social classes. In many ancient cities, the wealthy lived in areas with better sanitation systems, while the poor often lived in crowded tenements with inadequate waste disposal. Picture the opulent latrines of Roman villas, a stark contrast to the overflowing cesspools that plague the city's slums. This unequal access to sanitation significantly impacted public health outcomes. During the medieval period, the differences in hygiene practices across social classes were even more pronounced. The elite lived in castles and manors with access to private baths and clean water, while the poor lived in overcrowded towns and villages with limited sanitation. Imagine the contrast between a noble woman taking a bath in a private chamber and a peasant woman using a communal water source for cleaning. This disparity in access to resources directly impacted hygiene practices and health. The Renaissance and subsequent periods also witnessed significant disparities in hygiene practices across social classes. The wealthy could afford luxurious baths, fine linens, and personal hygiene products, while the poor often lacked access to such amenities. Picture the elaborate bathing rituals of the European aristocracy, a stark contrast to the rudimentary cleaning practices of the urban working class. The persistence of these disparities underscores the persistent challenges in achieving equitable access to hygiene resources. The Industrial Revolution brought about significant changes in hygiene standards, but these changes were not evenly distributed across social classes. While the middle and upper classes benefited from improved sanitation and public health initiatives, the working class often lived in overcrowded and unsanitary conditions. Imagine the densely populated factory towns and the challenges faced by workers in maintaining hygiene standards in such environments. This unequal access to improved sanitation underscores the enduring link between social class and hygiene. Throughout history, the disparities in hygiene practices across social classes have had a significant impact on public health outcomes. The elite, with their access to resources and amenities, generally enjoyed better health than the poor, who were more vulnerable to infectious diseases. This disparity in health outcomes highlights the critical role of social determinants in shaping public health. In conclusion, the history of hygiene reveals a complex interplay between social class, access to resources, and health outcomes. While the wealthy often enjoyed a higher level of cleanliness and access to hygiene amenities, the poor were frequently left to contend with unsanitary conditions and a higher risk of disease. This enduring disparity underscores the importance of equitable access to resources and sanitation infrastructure in promoting public health for all. The story of hygiene is, in many ways, a story of social justice and the ongoing struggle for equal access to the necessities of a healthy life. For centuries, humanity grappled with disease and illness, often attributing them to miasmas, imbalances in humors, or divine retribution. The very concept of invisible entities causing sickness remained elusive, a mystery shrouded in superstition and misunderstanding. Then, a revolution dawned, the slow, painstaking unveiling of the germ theory. Imagine a world where the cause of illness was not understood, a world where the simplest act of touching a contaminated surface could lead to devastating consequences. This was the reality for countless generations. Epidemics swept through communities, leaving trails of devastation in their wake, their origins shrouded in mystery. The lack of understanding about disease transmission led to practices that, in hindsight, seem both baffling and tragic. The seeds of the germ theory were sown gradually through the meticulous observations of pioneering scientists. Consider the work of Antony van Leeuwenhoek, whose remarkable improvements to the microscope allowed him to observe microorganisms for the first time. His detailed descriptions of these tiny creatures, these unseen worlds teeming with life, laid the foundation for future discoveries. Picture Leeuwenhoek peering through his lens, his mind captivated by these previously invisible inhabitants of our world. Yet, The connection between these microorganisms and disease remained elusive for many years. The prevailing theories of the time, emphasizing miasmas and humors, often obscured the true nature of disease transmission. Picture physicians clad in their traditional garb, treating patients with remedies based on these outdated theories, their efforts often proving ineffective against the relentless advance of infectious diseases. The true breakthrough arrived with the groundbreaking work of Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch. Pasteur's experiments on fermentation and spontaneous generation definitively demonstrated that microorganisms were responsible for various processes, including disease. Imagine Pasteur's meticulous experiments, his meticulous observations leading to a paradigm shift in our understanding of the natural world. He showed that these tiny entities were not merely present, but actively involved in the processes of life and death. Robert Koch, building on Pasteur's work, developed methods for isolating and identifying specific bacteria as the causative agents of various diseases. Koch's postulates, a rigorous framework for establishing the link between a microorganism and a disease, revolutionized the field of microbiology. Picture Koch in his laboratory, his experiments meticulously documented, his discoveries transforming our understanding of disease causation. The implications of the germ theory were profound and far-reaching. It fundamentally altered our understanding of disease transmission, shifting the focus from miasmas and humors to the role of microorganisms. This new understanding spurred a wave of innovations in hygiene practices. The focus shifted from merely managing symptoms to preventing disease through sanitation and hygiene. Hand washing, previously a sporadic practice, became a cornerstone of preventative medicine. Imagine the simple act of washing hands, a seemingly insignificant gesture, now transformed into a powerful weapon against disease. The introduction of antiseptic techniques in surgery drastically reduced the incidence of post-operative infections. Picture surgeons, now clad in sterile gowns, their instruments meticulously cleaned, their procedures dramatically safer thanks to the advancements driven by the germ theory. Public health initiatives, driven by the germ theory, transformed urban environments. The construction of improved sanitation systems, including sewage treatment plants and water purification facilities, dramatically reduced the spread of waterborne diseases. Picture the transformation of cities, once plagued by disease, now benefiting from cleaner water and better sanitation. The impact of the germ theory extended beyond sanitation and hygiene. It spurred the development of vaccines and antibiotics, revolutionizing the treatment of infectious diseases. Imagine the development of vaccines, preventing devastating diseases that once ravaged communities. Picture the discovery of antibiotics, offering a powerful weapon against bacterial infections. These advancements, born from the germ theory, have saved countless lives and dramatically improved the health of populations worldwide. The germ theory marked a turning point in human history, transitioning us from a time of pervasive ignorance about disease to an era of scientific understanding and preventative medicine. It was a revolution not only in science, but also in public health, leading to improved sanitation, safer surgical practices, and the development of life-saving vaccines and antibiotics. The seemingly simple act of understanding the unseen world of microorganisms transformed our understanding of health and disease, paving the way for a healthier future. This transformation, driven by scientific curiosity and meticulous experimentation, stands as a testament to the power of scientific inquiry to improve the human condition. The germ theory is not merely a scientific concept. It's a cornerstone of modern medicine and public health, a legacy that continues to shape our lives today. The 20th century witnessed an unprecedented acceleration in advancements in hygiene and sanitation, building upon the foundations laid by the germ theory and fueled by a growing understanding of the link between cleanliness and public health. Imagine a world rapidly transforming, leaving behind the unsanitary conditions of the past and embracing a new era of cleanliness. This era was marked not only by technological innovations, but also by a shift in societal attitudes towards hygiene. One of the most significant advancements was the widespread implementation of modern sanitation systems. Picture bustling cities, once choked by overflowing sewage and contaminated water, gradually transforming into cleaner, healthier environments. The construction of sophisticated sewage treatment plants and the expansion of water purification systems dramatically reduced the incidence of waterborne diseases. This was a revolution not just in engineering, but in public health, improving the quality of life for millions. The development of new cleaning agents and disinfectants further enhanced hygiene practices. Imagine the introduction of powerful yet safe disinfectants, transforming the fight against germs. These advancements, driven by chemical research, provided householders and healthcare professionals with effective tools to combat the spread of infectious diseases. The availability of readily accessible disinfectants revolutionized household cleaning, contributing to healthier homes and workplaces. Advances in personal hygiene also played a crucial role. Picture the gradual shift in attitudes towards personal cleanliness, driven by increased public awareness and the availability of improved products. The mass production of soap, along with the development of more effective toothbrushes and toothpastes, greatly improved oral hygiene. The simple act of brushing one's teeth became a common practice, contributing to better overall health. The development of vaccines and antibiotics fundamentally altered the fight against infectious diseases. Imagine the profound impact of vaccines in eradicating or significantly reducing the incidence of previously devastating diseases like polio and measles. The development of antibiotics provided powerful tools to combat bacterial infections, saving countless lives and reducing the severity of illnesses. These life-saving advancements marked a turning point in healthcare, dramatically improving the health and lifespan of individuals worldwide. The rise of public health campaigns played a pivotal role in promoting hygiene awareness. Picture public health officials working tirelessly to educate the public on the importance of hand washing, proper sanitation, and other hygiene practices. These campaigns, often using innovative communication methods, help to disseminate critical information and promote behavior changes that improve public health. The effective dissemination of knowledge transforms societies, contributing to the widespread adoption of improved hygiene practices. The 20th century also witnessed the development of more sophisticated medical equipment and techniques for sterilization. Picture the transformation of operating rooms, with increasingly sophisticated sterilization methods, ensuring a much cleaner and safer surgical environment. The development of autoclaves and other sterilization equipment significantly reduced the risk of infections during medical procedures. This advancement, driven by innovation in medical technology, dramatically improved patient safety and surgical outcomes. In addition to advancements in sanitation and hygiene, the 20th century saw the rise of food safety regulations and practices. Picture the transformation of food processing and handling, with the introduction of regulations aimed at preventing foodborne illnesses. The implementation of these regulations, combined with advancements in food preservation techniques, contributed to a significant reduction in foodborne diseases. The improved safety of the food supply dramatically enhanced public health. The progress in hygiene and sanitation was not uniform across the globe. While developed nations experienced significant improvements, many developing countries continued to struggle with inadequate sanitation and limited access to clean water. This disparity highlights the ongoing challenge of ensuring equitable access to essential hygiene resources and services worldwide. The focus shifted towards addressing these global inequalities, aiming for a more equitable distribution of hygiene advancements. The advancements of the 20th century were not simply technological innovations. They represented a fundamental shift in societal attitudes towards hygiene. The growing recognition of the link between cleanliness and health led to widespread adoption of improved practices, contributing to a healthier and more prosperous world. The 20th century witnessed a powerful combination of scientific discoveries, technological innovations, and public health initiatives, transforming the landscape of hygiene and sanitation. This era marked a turning point a transition from a past dominated by disease to a future characterized by better health and improved quality of life. The legacy of these advancements continues to shape our world, reminding us of the enduring importance of hygiene in promoting human well-being. As we draw to a close on our journey through the fascinating, often surprising history of hygiene, let's pause to reflect on the remarkable transformation from the practices of our ancestors to the sophisticated systems we enjoy today. Imagine the stark contrast: the ancient Romans' reliance on urine for cleaning, the medieval villagers' infrequent baths, and the communal sponges of the past, juxtaposed against the readily available clean water, advanced sanitation systems, and personal hygiene products that are commonplace in many parts of the world today. This evolution wasn't a linear progression. It was a complex dance between scientific understanding, technological innovation, societal norms, and economic realities. The discovery of microorganisms and the development of the germ theory revolutionized our approach to hygiene. The shift from miasma theory, which attributed disease to bad air, to the understanding that microscopic organisms caused illness was a paradigm shift, fueling the development of effective sanitation and hygiene practices. Picture the gradual unveiling of this hidden world, the realization that invisible enemies were responsible for widespread sickness and death. The 20th century, in particular, witnessed an explosion of advancements. Imagine the rapid development and widespread adoption of sanitation systems, the mass production of soap and disinfectants, the introduction of antibiotics and vaccines, all combining to dramatically improve public health. The construction of sewage treatment plants and the expansion of water purification systems transformed cities, reducing the incidence of waterborne diseases. It was a time when the fight against disease became increasingly sophisticated, moving beyond simple cleanliness to encompass the eradication of specific pathogens. Yet, even with these remarkable advancements, the story of hygiene is far from complete. The uneven distribution of resources and the persistence of societal inequalities continue to create disparities in access to clean water, sanitation, and healthcare. Picture the stark contrast between communities that enjoy the benefits of modern hygiene practices and those that still struggle with inadequate sanitation, limited access to clean water, and a higher prevalence of infectious diseases. The legacy of past practices still casts a long shadow, highlighting the urgent need for continued progress and equitable access to essential services. The challenge extends beyond simply providing access to resources. Cultural beliefs and practices can still influence hygiene behaviors, sometimes hindering the adoption of effective practices. Picture the persistence of certain traditions that, while deeply rooted in culture, may not align with modern understandings of hygiene. Navigating these cultural nuances is crucial for effective public health interventions. Moreover, the rise of antimicrobial resistance poses a significant threat to the effectiveness of our current hygiene strategies. The overuse of antibiotics has led to the evolution of drug-resistant bacteria, creating a need for innovative approaches to infection control. Picture the emergence of superbugs, bacteria that are resistant to multiple antibiotics, posing a significant challenge to public health. This necessitates a renewed focus on preventative measures, such as improved hygiene practices and responsible antibiotic use. The pursuit of hygiene is not merely a matter of cleanliness. It's a fundamental aspect of human well-being. Picture the impact of good hygiene on individual health, community well-being, and global development. Improved hygiene reduces the burden of infectious diseases, enhances productivity, and contributes to a healthier and more prosperous society. It's a constant evolution, a reflection of our understanding of the world around us and our ability to adapt to new challenges. As we look towards the future, the focus must shift towards sustainable and equitable solutions. The development of innovative sanitation technologies, the promotion of hygiene education, and the equitable distribution of resources are crucial steps in ensuring that everyone has access to the basic necessities for good health. Picture a future where everyone has access to clean water, adequate sanitation, and effective healthcare, regardless of their socioeconomic status or geographic location. Our journey through the history of hygiene has revealed not only the ingenuity and progress of humankind, but also the ongoing challenges we face. The story is far from over. It's a continuous narrative of adaptation, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of a healthier world. The lessons learned from the past, from the successes and failures, must guide our efforts towards a future where hygiene is not a privilege, but a fundamental right for all. Let the echoes of the past inspire us to build a healthier, more equitable future for generations to come. Let the quiet hum of progress continue, a gentle reminder of our collective journey toward a cleaner, healthier tomorrow. Our journey through the annals of hygiene, from the ancient world to the present day, has unveiled a captivating tapestry woven with threads of ingenuity, misunderstanding, and remarkable progress. We've traversed millennia, witnessing practices that range from the surprisingly effective, if unconventional, to the undeniably unsanitary. We've peered into the lives of our ancestors, sharing in their daily routines, their struggles with disease, and their gradual, often painstaking, discoveries about the invisible world that shaped their health and well-being. The story begins not with gleaming laboratories and sterile environments, but with the earthy sense of ancient civilizations. We've glimpsed the Egyptians' meticulous use of natron for purification, the Romans' ingenious, though perhaps questionable, use of urine as a cleaning agent, and the surprisingly sophisticated bathing rituals of various cultures. We've walked alongside medieval villagers, their infrequent bathing a stark contrast to the more frequent, though still often communal, bathing practices of other eras. We've seen the evolution of personal hygiene tools, from rudimentary implements to the advanced products we utilize today. But our journey hasn't been solely about the progression of techniques. It's also been a narrative of evolving understanding. The shift from miasma theory to the germ theory of disease marked a turning point, a moment of profound revelation that reshaped our approach to cleanliness. This transition, from attributing illness to bad air to recognizing the role of microscopic organisms, was a paradigm shift that propelled the development of modern sanitation systems and medical practices. Imagine the gradual dawning of this understanding, the slow unraveling of the mysteries of disease, the gradual shift from superstition and conjecture to scientific fact. This transition represents not just a scientific advancement, but a profound change in the human perception of the world. The 20th century emerged as a period of unprecedented advancements in sanitation and hygiene. The construction of expansive sewage systems, the mass production of disinfectants, and the advent of antibiotics and vaccines marked a pivotal moment in human history, dramatically improving public health and extending lifespans. Picture the transformation of cities, the gradual decline of waterborne diseases, and the hope that arose with the possibility of controlling and eradicating once deadly illnesses. This progress, however, wasn't uniform. It was, and continues to be, unevenly distributed. The inequities in access to clean water, sanitation, and healthcare remain a sobering reminder of the challenges that lie ahead. The stark disparities between communities with access to modern hygiene and those struggling with inadequate sanitation underscore the urgent need for global cooperation and resource allocation. Imagine the persistent inequalities that continue to perpetuate cycles of disease and suffering. The work is far from complete. Our exploration into the history of hygiene isn't just a retrospective. It's a crucial lesson in the ongoing need for vigilance and progress. The lessons from the past remind us that even seemingly inconsequential practices can have a profound impact on public health. The persistent threat of antimicrobial resistance highlights the ever-evolving nature of the battle against disease. The emergence of superbugs, bacteria resistant to multiple antibiotics, necessitates a renewed emphasis on preventative measures, sustainable sanitation practices, and judicious antibiotic use. Imagine this ongoing arms race, the constant adaptation required to stay ahead of the ever-changing landscape of infectious diseases. The future of hygiene demands a holistic approach. It requires not only technological innovation, but also a commitment to equitable access, culturally sensitive education, and global collaboration. The development of innovative sanitation technologies, the expansion of water purification systems, and the implementation of effective public health programs are crucial steps in ensuring that everyone has access to the basic necessities for good health. Imagine a future where clean water, adequate sanitation, and effective healthcare are not luxuries, but fundamental rights for all, regardless of their socioeconomic status or geographic location. As we conclude our journey, let us carry with us the profound lessons learned from the past. Let us remember the ingenuity and resilience of our ancestors, their struggles, and their gradual progress. Let us embrace the advancements of the modern era while acknowledging the persistent challenges that remain. Let the history of hygiene serve as a powerful reminder of the importance of continued vigilance, innovation, and a steadfast commitment to equitable access to health and well-being for all. Let the quiet hum of progress continue, a gentle reminder of our shared responsibility to create a healthier, cleaner, and more equitable future for generations to come. The story of hygiene is not merely a tale of the past. It is an ongoing narrative of human resilience, scientific progress, and the enduring pursuit of a healthier world.